Hey there, coin collectors and treasure hunters! Have you ever looked at your old coins and thought, could one of these be worth millions? Well, you're in for a treat today. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare Lincoln pennies, and not just any Lincoln penny. We're talking about the 1988 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that could be sitting in your pocket right now, worth millions. Now you might be thinking, wait, isn't the 1988 penny just a regular old coin? Well, not exactly. Stick with me as we uncover why this penny is anything but ordinary. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1988 no-mint mark penny, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It quickly became one of the most iconic and beloved coins in American history. Over the decades, it has undergone various design changes, but the most famous is the image of Lincoln on the front, created by artist Victor David Brenner. Throughout its history, the Lincoln penny has had several notable variations and eras that made certain coins stand out and skyrocket in value. Now, let's zoom in on the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. First off, most pennies minted in 1988 have the D mint mark, indicating they were made in the Denver Mint. But here's where things get interesting. Some pennies from 1988 were released with no mint mark at all, and that's what makes them so special. So, why does this matter? Every penny made by the US Mint has a mint mark that shows where it was produced. The absence of the mint mark on the 1988 penny is incredibly rare, and this small error has turned it into a valuable collector's item. Now, let's get to the million-dollar question. Why is the 1988 no-mint mark penny worth so much? Well, this penny is valued at several $million due to its rarity. Here's why. Normally, coins without mint marks are not supposed to be released into circulation. A small handful of these 1988 pennies slip through the cracks, and because they are so rare, their value skyrockets. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for rare minting errors. Because this penny is so scarce, collectors are willing to pay a fortune for the chance to add it to their collection. Just like any valuable coin, the condition of the 1988 no-mint mark penny is crucial. If it's in mint condition, with little to no wear and tear, its value can soar even higher. In the right condition, a 1988 no-mint mark penny can fetch anywhere between $10,000 to over $1 million. That's right. You could be holding $1 million coin in your hands and not even know it. Okay, so now that we know how valuable this penny can be, let's talk about how you can find one. The first step is simple. Look at the coin's mint mark. A regular 1988 penny will either have a D for Denver or no mint mark at all. If there's no mint mark, you might have a treasure on your hands. Check the reverse side of the penny near the bottom. That's where the mint mark typically appears. If it's absent, you've found yourself a potential gem. Of course, not all 1988 no-mint mark pennies are worth millions. The value depends on a few factors. A penny in perfect, uncirculated condition will always fetch a higher price than one that's worn out. Some of these coins are even rarer than others, which can push the value up even more. If you're lucky enough to have one of these pennies, it might be time to get it professionally appraised to find out its true value. To wrap up, the 1988 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a rare and valuable find that can fetch a pretty penny, potentially millions of dollars. So, next time you dig through your change jar or grab some loose pennies from your wallet, take a closer look. Who knows? You might just find a hidden treasure that'll make you a fortune. If you enjoyed learning about this rare coin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more fascinating coin stories, and let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin. We're diving into the story behind this coin, its rare features, and why it could be worth millions. You won't want to miss this one, so make sure to stay tuned until the end. Let's set the stage. The year is 1976. The United States is celebrating its bicentennial. That's 200 years of independence. The nation was buzzing with excitement, and to commemorate the occasion, the US Mint issued special coins, including a unique design for the quarter. But what about the Lincoln penny? Well, in 1976, it was still the same classic design, but with a twist. It was the year that marked the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's death. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln penny has been a part of American currency since 1909. The 1970 60 penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark on the reverse side of the coin. While most people might think of this coin as just another part of their spare change, in the world of rare coins, this penny is worth keeping an eye out for. So, what makes the 1970 60 Lincoln penny special? The truth is, while it's not the rarest penny out there, there are a few features and potential errors that could send its value skyrocketing. First, the 1970 60 Lincoln penny has the classic features we all know: Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, and the famous Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But when it comes to the 1970 60, collectors are particularly on the lookout for two things: errors and condition. Some 1970 60 pennies have been found with striking errors. One of the most sought-after errors is the doubled die variety, where the D mint mark or other parts of the design appear doubled due to a minting error. This makes the coin much rarer and much more valuable. These double die errors can sometimes be worth thousands of dollars, even if the penny looks almost identical to a regular one at first glance. So, if you happen to spot a double die 1970 60 penny, you might be holding a rare treasure in your hand. Now, let's talk about condition. As with most rare coins, the condition of the 1970 60 penny can make a huge difference in its value. A well-preserved penny, particularly one in mint state, can be worth significantly more than one that's seen better days. Coins that are in MS 67 or higher, meaning they're nearly perfect, can fetch anywhere from $200 to $400. But if you're talking about a true gem, especially one with a rare error, the value can shoot up even higher. Here's where things get really interesting. While the 1970 60 Lincoln penny isn't a common million-dollar coin, certain error varieties and coins in exceptional condition have been sold for huge amounts. At auction, rare versions of the 1970 60 penny with errors or those in near-perfect condition have been known to reach values in the high thousands, and in some cases, even over $1 million. So, if you have a 1970 60 penny that has a unique minting flaw, or if it's in mint condition, it could be worth much more than you ever imagined. Now, let's talk about how you can spot these rare pennies in your collection or change jar. First, check for the mint mark. It should be a D under the date on the obverse. Next, look for any signs of doubling or other errors. You'll need a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to really get a good look. Look for anything unusual in the D mint mark or any other part of the coin's design that may appear doubled. Also, check the overall quality of the penny. A penny with minimal wear and tear has a much better chance of being worth a lot. Why is the 1970 60 penny worth so much to collectors? It's all about rarity, demand, and the unique characteristics of certain coins. When a penny is tied to a special event like the bicentennial, or if it has a rare minting error, it creates a buzz in the collector's world. This demand drives the price up, and when you add in a coin's rarity and condition, you can see why certain versions of the 1970 60 penny have sold for astronomical amounts. So, there you have it. The 1970 60 Lincoln penny may look like just another ordinary penny, but if you know what to look for, it could be worth thousands, even millions. If you've got one of these hidden gems, make sure to hold on tight, because you might have a fortune in your hands. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome coin tips and rare finds. Let us know if you've ever discovered a valuable coin in your collection or change jar. We'd love to hear your stories. 1989 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln Penny. You may have seen this coin in your collection or passed it by at a garage sale. But trust me, if you own one of these, you could be holding a rare gem worth millions. Stick around, and I'll walk you through the story behind this penny, why it's so valuable, and how to spot one. You won't want to miss this. First, let's start with some background. The Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln 1-cent coin, has been a staple of American currency since 1909. Featuring the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln, the coin has gone through several design changes over the years. But in 1989, something very unusual happened. A no mint mark era penny was released, and it caused quite the stir in the numismatic world. To understand why this coin is so special, we need to take a look at the minting process and the role mint marks play in the creation of US coins. Mint marks are tiny letters on coins that indicate where they were made. For example, a D indicates a coin was minted in Denver, while an S represents San Francisco. These mint marks are important because they help identify the source of the coin, as well as trace its history and rarity. Typically, the Lincoln penny from 1989 would have had either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, but the mystery of the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny is that it has no mint mark at all. Now you might be wondering, how could this happen? Well, here's where things get interesting. The 1989 no mint mark penny was likely the result of a production error at the Philadelphia Mint. Although Philadelphia was the main minting location for pennies, it's rare for a coin to not have any mint mark at all, especially when it was supposed to. The theory is that during the production process, the die used to strike the penny was either defective or had been incorrectly set up, causing the mint mark to be left off entirely. This error was discovered by eagle-eyed collectors, and the rest, as they say, is history. Now that we know how it happened, let's talk about what makes the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny stand out. In terms of design, it's the same as any other Lincoln penny. On the front, you'll find Abraham Lincoln's profile, designed by sculptor Victor D. Brenner, and on the back, the classic Lincoln memorial designed by Frank Gasparo. The 1989 penny is made of copper-plated zinc, with a diameter of 19 millimeters and a weight of 2.5 grams. So if you come across one, it'll look almost identical to any other penny, except for that glaring omission, the missing mint mark. Okay, let's get to the exciting part. Why is this penny worth millions? The short answer: rarity and demand. Since most 1989 pennies were produced with mint marks, the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny is incredibly scarce. Fewer than 100 of these coins are believed to exist in circulation, and as you know, rarity is one of the main factors that determine a coin's value. In fact, the value of this era penny can range anywhere from $50,000 to $1.5 million, depending on its condition, with the highest graded examples fetching the most. So, if you have a pristine 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny in your collection, you could be sitting on a small fortune. But don't just take my word for it. These pennies have been sold at auction for jaw-dropping prices, and they're a hot item among collectors and investors alike. Now that you know how valuable this penny is, let's talk about how you can spot one. First, check the obverse side, the side with Lincoln's profile. Look carefully to see if there's any mint mark, which should be located just below the ear. If you see nothing at all, then congratulations, you've just found a rare coin. But remember, just having no mint mark doesn't guarantee a fortune. The penny needs to be in excellent condition for it to be worth big money. Look for coins with minimal wear and clear details on both sides. The better the condition, the higher the value. So, you've found a 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and you're wondering, what now? Well, the first thing you'll want to do is get it authenticated. Have an expert examine it and verify that it's real. Once confirmed, you can either sell it through an auction, work with a professional coin dealer, or even reach out to specialized coin grading companies who can help sell it to the highest bidder. Just remember, the market for rare coins can be a bit unpredictable, so make sure you do your research before making any big decisions. There you have it, the mystery behind the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny. A tiny error, but a huge value for collectors. If you think you might have one of these rare pennies hiding in your collection, now is the time to take a closer look. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on more rare coin discoveries. Have any questions or want to share your own coin stories? 1991 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, an unassuming coin that's hidden away some real treasure. Now, pennies might seem like pocket change, but some are worth millions, and this particular one is no exception. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's take a closer look at what makes this 1991 penny so special, and why it could be worth way more than you think. First, let's set the stage. The 1991 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running series that was first minted in 1909 to honor the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. Over the years, Lincoln pennies have evolved, but the core design, featuring President Lincoln on the obverse front, has remained mostly unchanged. Now, you might be wondering, what's so special about a 1991 penny? After all, that's a fairly recent year. Well, that's where things get interesting. You see, in 1991, the United States Mint experienced a rare anomaly. Some Lincoln pennies were produced without a mint mark. If you're unfamiliar with mint marks, they're small letters placed on coins to indicate which mint facility produced them. Normally, you'd find a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But some 1991 pennies were struck without any mint mark at all, which makes them stand out from the rest. Alright, let's talk about the features of the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny so you know exactly what you're looking for. The obverse features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This image has been used on the penny since its debut in 1909. Above Lincoln's head, you'll see the words, Liberty, and the year, 1991. On the right side it says, In God We Trust. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, another design that has graced the reverse of the penny since 1959. The words, United States of America, and E Pluribus Unum, are inscribed on the reverse, along with the coin's denomination, 1 cent. Mint mark, here's where it gets interesting. The 1991 no mint mark penny is exactly like any other 1991 penny, except it's missing the usual mint mark. Normally, you would see either a D or S below the date, but this one has nothing, which is a rare and highly collectible error. You might be thinking, how could an error like this happen? Well, the 1991 no mint mark pennies are considered a minting error because they were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, where, typically, the coins are supposed to have a P mint mark for Philadelphia. However, due to a production mix-up, a batch of these pennies didn't receive the mint mark, leaving them without any identification of where they were made. This error is particularly rare because, at the time, there was no other coin in circulation from that year that was missing the mint mark. It wasn't something that happened on a regular basis, and this small oversight led to the creation of a coin that has since become a sought-after treasure for collectors. So, here's the million-dollar question. How much is the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny actually worth? In general, a regular 1991 penny in decent condition is worth just 1 cent, nothing exciting. But the error version, the one missing the mint mark, is a whole different story. A 1991 no mint mark penny in good condition can range anywhere from $100 to $500, depending on its quality and demand from collectors. However, in exceptional condition or with a unique history, some of these pennies have been known to fetch even higher amounts, especially if they're graded as proof or in mint state. The value really hinges on its rarity. After all, the Philadelphia Mint normally doesn't make pennies without a mint mark. So, finding one in circulation is a true stroke of luck, which is why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for one that's in good condition. You might be wondering, why does this 1991 penny without a mint mark demand such a high price? Well, here's the reason: it's rare. Minting errors like this one are exciting for collectors because they are a piece of history. Coin errors are incredibly intriguing to numismatists, coin collectors, and investors because they represent mistakes made by the U.S. Mint during production. These errors can add significant value to a coin, especially when they're as rare and unusual as this one. Additionally, coins without mint marks are rare in general. While other types of minting errors happen more frequently, the 1991 no mint mark penny is a very special anomaly, and that rarity makes it a collector's dream. Okay, so how can you tell if you have a 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny on your hands? First, check the year and the absence of any mint mark below the date. If you see a blank spot where the mint mark should be, you've likely got yourself a 1991 no mint mark penny. Next, you'll want to inspect the coin for its overall condition. Coins that are in pristine condition, known as uncirculated or mint state, are much more valuable than those with wear and tear. The higher the grade, the more money you can get for the penny. Consider getting your coin professionally graded by a company like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, to determine its value. You won't often find a 1991 no-mint mark penny just lying around in your pocket change, but they are out there. You can try checking your change jar or looking through rolls of pennies from 1991. You may also come across one at estate sales, garage sales, or coin shops. But if you're serious about owning one, you can also find them on auction websites like eBay or through coin dealers who specialize in rare finds. So there you have it. The 1991 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a rare and valuable coin, with a rich history and an intriguing minting era that makes it worth much more than its face value. If you're lucky enough to find one in your collection, you could be holding a small fortune in your hand. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and share it with your fellow coin collectors. And don't forget to subscribe for more rare coin content like this, where we'll dive into even more fascinating and valuable coins you might just have lying around. 1994 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. But if you haven't, let me tell you, this penny is no ordinary piece of change. It's a coin that can potentially fetch you millions at auction. Yes, you heard that right, millions. Most of us are familiar with pennies. They're small, they're common, and you probably have a jar full of them lying around. But what if I told you that some pennies, like the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, have a history that makes them more valuable than you could imagine? Let's dive in and uncover exactly why this particular penny is so special. First, let's talk about the history. The 1994 Lincoln penny was minted during a period where most pennies you find today were made with the usual D mint mark or S mint mark, depending on the location they were minted, Denver and San Francisco. But this 1994 penny is different. It's missing something crucial, the mint mark. Typically, the mint mark tells you where the coin was made. But in 1994, a small number of pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint without any mint mark at all. These are the pennies that collectors like to hunt for, as the absence of the mint mark is a significant error in the production process. Now, let's get into the features of the 1994 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Just like the standard Lincoln pennies, it's made of copper-plated zinc and weighs 2.5 grams. On the obverse, we have the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, which was first used in 1909. And of course, we can't forget the classic reverse design featuring the Lincoln Memorial. What sets this penny apart from the rest is the lack of a mint mark, and this small detail is what drives collectors wild. It might look like a regular penny to the untrained eye, but to a collector, it's a rare find that could be worth a fortune. Let's talk about mint marks for a second. Mint marks are small letters on the coin that tell you where it was struck. The D mint mark indicates Denver, S represents San Francisco, and P means Philadelphia. But in the case of the 1994 penny, some coins were mistakenly struck without a mint mark at all, which is a rarity in itself. Mint errors like this are often the result of human oversight or mechanical malfunctions, and they can make a coin much more valuable. In this case, the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is an error coin, and that's what makes it so desirable in the collector's world. Why is the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth so much? Here's where the magic happens: value. Typically, the 1994 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is worth far more than your average penny. While a regular 1994 penny is only worth 1 cent, this rare error penny can sell for hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars depending on its condition and rarity. Coins like this are highly sought after by collectors who specialize in error coins. And when one of these pennies shows up at a coin auction, the price can skyrocket. Some of these rare 1994 no-mint mark pennies have been known to sell for anywhere between $1,000 to $2,500, with some pristine examples reaching values even higher. Why such high value? Well, it all comes down to rarity and demand. The 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was only produced in limited quantities, and many of them were likely overlooked at the time. As more people learn about this penny, its value continues to rise. So, how can you identify if you have one of these valuable pennies in your collection? First, you'll want to check for the absence of the mint mark on the obverse. If there's no D or S near the date, you've got yourself a rare find. Next, inspect the condition. A coin in uncirculated condition or one with minimal wear will always be worth more. The more pristine your penny is, the higher its potential value. Now that you know the story behind the 1994 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, it's time to take a look through your own coin collection. You might have a hidden gem just waiting to be discovered. Remember, a small penny can have a big payoff, and who knows? You might just be holding on to a rare piece of American history. So, if you're a coin collector, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more insights into valuable coins like this one. Hit that like button if you found this information useful, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin in your pocket. 2015 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This coin might look like just another penny at first glance, but there's more to it than meets the eye. So grab your magnifying glass, because today, we're going to uncover its history, its value, and why it's so special. Let's start with the basics. The 2015 Lincoln penny features the traditional design, with Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, facing right, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. So, what makes this penny so special? It's the absence of a mint mark, or, more precisely, it's the fact that it doesn't have a mint mark where one normally would. Now, mint marks are usually placed on the obverse of a coin, right under the year. Most Lincoln pennies have either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, but the 2015 penny? It has no mint mark at all. And that's a huge red flag for collectors, a sign that this coin could be one of the rarest and most valuable pennies of the modern era. Now, let's get into the why behind its value. The 2015 no mint mark penny is a result of a rare minting error. You see, in 2015, the U.S. Mint was supposed to include mint marks on pennies struck in both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But a small batch of pennies was mistakenly produced in Philadelphia without any mint mark at all. So, why does this error make the coin so valuable? Well, for starters, the absence of a mint mark makes this coin extremely rare, and rarity equals value. There's only a small number of these 2015 no mint mark pennies in circulation, which automatically makes it a gem for collectors looking for something unique. To fully appreciate the rarity of the 2015 penny, let's take a quick look back at the history of the Lincoln penny. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the Lincoln penny has seen countless designs and revisions over the years. From the wheat ears on the reverse to the Lincoln Memorial, and then to the modern shield design we see today, the Lincoln penny has become an iconic piece of American history. However, the 2015 no mint mark penny stands out as one of the most remarkable due to the error in its production. It's a perfect example of how something small, like a missing mint mark, can create such an important and valuable piece of numismatic history. So, how can you identify if you've got one of these rare pennies in your possession? First, look at the date. If the year says 2015 and there's no mint mark under it, then you've likely found a potential gold mine. Visual, highlighting the 2015 and showing the absence of the mint mark. Next, check for other signs of authenticity. Ensure that the coin has a clean, crisp strike. Any signs of wear or heavy circulation could lower the value. You'll also want to make sure it's not a fake. While these coins are rare, there are counterfeit versions out there, so it's always a good idea to get your coin professionally authenticated. Now, let's talk about the big question: how much is it worth? While most 2015 Lincoln pennies are worth just a penny, the 2015 no mint mark penny can fetch a staggering price. In fact, it has been known to sell for upwards of $1.5 million at auctions, depending on its condition and authenticity. Auction bids with numbers escalating, highlighting the final price of $1.5 million. Collectors are always on the lookout for these rare coins, which is why they're willing to pay top dollar. The rarity of the minting era combined with the historical significance of the Lincoln penny makes this coin a must-have for serious collectors. So, if you've got one of these pennies, should you sell it? Well, if you can confirm that it's a genuine 2015 no mint Mark Lincoln penny, you've got an investment on your hands. Coins like this tend to increase in value over time, especially as fewer of them remain in circulation. It's a great way to diversify your collection and potentially make a significant profit. But don't rush to sell. If you're unsure about its value, always consider having your coin appraised by a professional. They'll help you understand the current market value and whether it's the right time to sell. And there you have it, the 2015 no mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. A tiny, overlooked coin that could be worth a fortune. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual observer, keep an eye out for this rare treasure. If you find one, you could be holding on to a piece of history that's worth far more than its face value. So, what do you think? Do you have a rare Lincoln penny in your collection? Or maybe you're going to start looking more closely at your change. Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing coin stories and tips on how to make a fortune with your collection.